What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining us for Wednesday, May 4th, Kentucky Derby Daily Show for the Racing Dudes. I'm with Aaron Halterman and Mike Somich. I am Magic. And, gentlemen, this is our last live morning show. It's been a fun week that we've been doing these. Aaron, how are you today, sir?
I'm good. I'm very, very good. I'm tired, and we still got one more long day to go. But no, I'm happy. Listen, once the show's over, going to Jared's, finishing up the live bankroll article on the guide. That's the only thing left. We'll put the guide out, and then we drive 7 hours to Louisville. So it's a wonderful day, Magic. And it's pouring down rain, by the way, here. So that's good, too.
Mike, how are you doing today, first of all?
I'm doing well. I can tell you it's not pouring down rain in Kentucky. I just came from the deep dive stream, and Drew was there with the track in the background. So I know it is not raining at Churchill, at least. So that's a positive. I'm ready for this race to go, to be honest. We've still got 3 more days to talk about this thing. And it feels like we've talked about it quite a bit already. But it's the one time a year you really put 2+ weeks of work into a single race. And so it's kind of crazy with the lead up here. And it feels like the work is done now. It's really just whether or not we're going to be right again this year.
You're right, and I was on a show a couple nights ago called For Future Considerations, talking about Kentucky Derby, and kind of explained that the Derby is like the Super Bowl for our sport, and the Breeders' Cup is like the Olympics, and Mike nailed it. This is one race we're focusing on. The Breeders' Cup, it's the entire weekend. You're giving, more or less attention to certain races, but you do have to focus on all of those. This one, we've handicapped the other races, but we have not spent 6 months watching for this one race. So it's really exciting, and speaking of things to watch, let's just jump right into the first news of the day. We have Taiba was working 3 furlongs at Churchill Downs today, and half the internet reacted going, oh my God, here's the second workout. Don't worry about that one workout bullshit. And the other half went, well, he went 38-4. That's way too slow. He's a complete toss in the Kentucky Derby. So Aaron, overreact for me one last time to Taiba's workout.
You know what? If you listen to the John White interview that is now running right now on the YouTube feed, and by the way, it's crushing us. We're getting like three or 4 times less the numbers because they're watching that. But anyway, if you watch that, John White said this would happen. He said he will have a blowout work probably tomorrow. We were doing the interview on Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow. And he said all will be fine. And that's his second work. He goes, you know why I think he'll do that? This is the exact same thing they did in the Santa Anita Derby. And what did he go out and do in Santa Anita Derby? Win and look impressive. So no overreaction at all. I went to bed knowing it was going to happen, Magic.
Oh, you must have felt pretty good about that then. Mike Somich, what did you think about it?
Yeah, the weirdest part to me was who wrote him, that it was Joel Rosario that wrote him for this 3 furlong work. But this work was mimicked what he did before Santa Anita. The Santa Anita Derby went, 37 flat there before that Derby, went 112-1 the prior work to that. So yeah, a little bit slower, but I mean, this seems like the exact same lead up to the Santa Anita Derby. And it's amazing how we've joked about this. People are a lot more positive when there's not a horse next to him. Like all of a sudden running alone, he looks great. It's like, yeah, well, I'm not going to overreact to this. I think it's great that you guys spin over the track. I think that's what was important. And I think it's all systems go for Saturday.
I just went into the John White interview. Still going strong. Still has about another 10 minutes to go. And I left him a message just saying, hey, when you guys are done, come on and join us over here on this show. We're going live. It is a little bit of – it's a long haul. But listen, you've got plenty of time between now and Saturday. And trust me, you want to listen to the John White interview. Yeah. Lots of great information, not just for the Derby, but factually as well. So, hey, here's a great question from Kevin. Pretty relevant. Aaron, what's your go-to 7-hour drive snack drink combination?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. Oh, gosh, there's so many. I'm a pig, Kevin. I eat anything. Anything that's bad for me, I should point out that I would eat. I usually do get like one of those Dunkin' Donut like bottled coffees. Those for whatever reason, those like jolt me big time. Got to have the water because I had a kidney stone a couple years ago, so got to keep drinking the water the whole time. And I don't know, just any kind of chips, I think for me it kind of just keeps me awake and focused. Tonight is going to be easy because my St. Louis Blues face off at 8:30. So I've got 3 hours of content you're talking about, well, maybe even 4 pregame and postgame. So it's going to be real easy for me tonight.
Mike, what about you? I know you, especially your previous job, you're traveling constantly, so I'm sure you've got some go-tos.
Yeah, I mean, Nick nailed it here. It's some type of beef jerky, and it's sparkling water. I mean, that's the absolute like midday crushing go-to. For me in the morning, it's the Starbucks mocha that comes in a little glass bottle. That one gets me going. But yeah, it's beef jerky. And if I'm struggling driving, I'm a big sunflower seed guy because that keeps you going because you keep your mouth moving too. So I'll go with sunflower seeds as well as one of the clutch long-term track chips.
I got to jump in on the beef jerky because the last time Heather and I and Jared on the way to Arkansas for the Arkansas Derby, we stopped at a gas station about, hour and a half, 2 hours away. I think it was in Clarksville, Arkansas. They made homemade beef jerky at this gas station. It was fantastic. It was so good. It was so good. We stopped on the way back, and they were out of it. They didn't have it anymore. So beef jerky, very good.
That's a hit or miss proposition, though. We did a cross country road trip, and everywhere they've made the homemade beef jerky, I bought it, and I'd say, it's about 3 of the 6 places it was terrible. So it's really hit or miss when you're going with the homemade stuff.
My go-to, first of all, I haven't had kidney stone, but I learned from Aaron's pain. So I have this constantly. If you ever watch a live show, I'm usually drinking from this thing, constantly drinking a lot of water. I always get, it's a special thing I only do on long road trips, the big giant, like 1.5 liters of Mountain Dew that are the wacky flavors. That's like, 200 grams of sugar. For a 7-hour road trip, for me, that's what I kind of need. And then I need this to even out, because that much sugar and caffeine in my body when I'm not used to it, it just completely throws me off. And sunflower seeds, that is a really key one as well. If I'm by myself, if the wife is with me, she doesn't want 7 hours of me just going over and over. So definitely a solo one, but that's a good one. Nick says, by the way, speaking of beef jerky, try Minguas, whatever Minguas is. So you're going to be in Kentucky. So there you go. Hey, listen, this is a Kentucky Derby show. Let's get back to it. And Briley's got a great question here in the chat. Going to bet her first Kentucky Derby this year. Congratulations. What type of bet should beginners start out doing, Aaron?
I'll keep it very simple. I think a win bet is your best bet in the Kentucky Derby for 2 reasons. One, when you're a beginner, no matter what race you're betting, that's what you need to start with. You need to get a feel for, okay, how do I bet to win? Who do I want to win? Try to just get that winner. And then past that, the next thing that I would say is, when it's the Kentucky Derby specifically, you're getting a price that is very playable in this race 99 times out of 100. And that's the big one, right? If you're betting the 5th race at Aqueduct and there's a 1-5 favorite and you like them, I wouldn't say a win bet is the greatest bet for anybody, whether it's beginner or whatever. But in the Derby, it's 20 horses. You're going to get your price. If you're a newbie, focus on trying to pick that winner, bet that winner with whatever bankroll or, whatever you want to bet, whatever you're comfortable with, and root that winner home. That's the easiest thing to do. And in some cases, even for a guy who's been betting it for, I guess it's been like 20 years for me now, the win bet still is a very good bet.
Absolutely. Mike?
Yeah, I'd echo Aaron's sentiments. I think the win bet is the best to play. One thing I would say is, if you're going into it, it's the first time you're betting, set up your bankroll with how much you want to spend and assume you lost it. You consider this entertainment, right? Where you're going to spend the whole day gambling on it. And if you come back with money, great. If not, it's like going out to dinner. It's like going to a movie, right? It's like going to a baseball game. There's some sunk cost to it. So I would definitely say the win bet's the best one. If I picked another one, I like the daily double, which means picking a winner in the back-to-back races. And it's simply because you can get a fun half-hour sweat out of $2, right? If you pick the winner in the first race and you're live to $500 and a $2 double, or $300 and a $2 double, it's a fun 30 minutes. You got that build up to that second race. It kind of gets the juices flowing. The one thing I would say don't do is, a lot of people will tell you bet place, bet show. Yeah, it's great. You get money back more often, but long-term, it's really going to hurt you. So sticking to win or daily double, which are kind of simple bets that can return pretty good money, I think are the best 2 places you can go.
Yeah, I think, Kevin, it's the same sentiment here, that you will lose a beginner when you try to get too complicated with things. So really, just try and focus on the win bets, and there's nothing more exciting than, even $5. If you bet your first Kentucky Derby, $5 on whoever it is that you like coming down the stretch, passing horses, I mean, you're going to have the thrill of a lifetime. So yep. Congrats. That's hopefully, it seems like you got it, like Aaron said, a really great betting race for your first Derby betting experience. So it seems more wide open. You don't have a super short price favorite here. Let's see, what else can we talk about? We've got I think we've watched the workout long enough here of Taiba on screen there. I didn't realize it was just on repeat. That's great. The Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Oaks days, we get some interesting wagering menus here that we don't normally get. And a lot of those are just multiple pick 3, pick 4, pick 5, pick 6 wagers. There's the Derby City 6. There's the new all 3-year-old pick 3 that Mike Somich just loves. So I figured we'd talk about that a little bit. Mike, with that face, go ahead and talk about why you do not like the all 3-year-old pick 3.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about like voting with your dollars. We talk about it a lot. Pick what racetracks you want to play. With when you're trying to be profitable playing the horses too, it's an important part to look at the takeout and understand what bets are better than other bets. That 3-year-old all pick 3 has a 22% takeout, which is significantly higher than some other options from a multi-race sequence. The $3 denomination with that takeout also means that you're not going to be able to spread as much. So it makes it harder if you don't have a big time opinion in those 3 races. And oh, by the way, one of them is the Kentucky Derby. So it's hard to have a big time opinion in that race. Oh, the Pat Day Mile's in there too. You're going to spend a lot of money. And there'll be a lot of those $3 tickets with favorites, and that kind of stuff isn't what you want to do, especially in a bigger takeout pool. So, like you got to look at like the All Dirt Pick 5, which Magic and I are going to cover later on the Magic Mike show. That one is a 50-cent bet with a that's a 50-cent bet with a 15% takeout. So, and when I say takeout, for every dollar you put in, the track keeps that percentage. So every dollar you put into the pick 3, the track keeps 22 cents. For every dollar you put into the pick 5, the track keeps 15 cents. So there's a 7 cents edge of playing that pick 5. And by the way, the denomination's 50 cents instead of looking at a $3 one. So you also have a little bit, a little less cost there to spread out in some legs if you do want to be able to spread out as well. So I would lean toward playing the pick 5s versus playing some of these gimmicky pick 3s that the track's putting in just to try and take a little bit more money off the bettors.
Aaron, there is a very wide range of pick 5s and pick 4s, and I noticed in the wagering guide that you did for racingnews.com, if you're available, or if you're interested, it's available at racingnews.com right now. But in that, for the multi-race suggested tickets, you even say don't play every single one of these that's offered up there. Do you have a sense early on which of the maybe early Friday, later Saturday, which set of sequences feel like they're more hittable to you?
Yeah, the later sequences for me. If you look back and you study the Kentucky Derby, these undercards, sometimes you can get an oddball thrown in there. You know, those races are tough, and sometimes it's like, damn, I went 4 out of 5, and it's like, I just couldn't have got to that horse. I think the later sequences are good. If you followed the guides all year, I've had really good luck with stakes races within the sequences. And so that's what I'm looking at for Saturday for sure. That sequence that ends in the Derby, which would either be the pick 4 or the pick 5. That's the one I like the best because I have strong opinions in the Kentucky Derby. And I have a strong opinion in the 2 races before the Kentucky Derby. And then I think you can get kind of crazy and spread in the race right before the Derby that's got, 6 or 7 horses that could win. And you get your price there. So I think that one is the one that's most attractive this year to me.
Mike, I am excited about that all dirt, all stakes pick 5 that you talked about. But going off of what Aaron's saying, did you, looking through this card, feel that there was a set of races early on a day or two that you like better than others?
I like Saturday's early races a little better than Friday's, but I think both are pretty solid. We don't have any like really low level horses, which is nice. I actually kind of prefer the non-stakes races sometimes because I handicap. I mean, Aaron obviously does every race every day, so he's not in that boat either. But I like handicapping the kind of the claiming level and the N1X level because that's what you handicap more often if you're handicapping every day than these big time stakes races. I also think the big time stakes races have a chance to chalk out a little bit harder. We've seen that on major days where you see these favorites just consistently run well. It's because they're the best horses in the world. And when you have the best horses in the world running, often you're going to have one horse that dominates that division. And we've seen that consistently, whether it be Travers Day or even like Churchill Day, Derby Day last year, where you had a couple favorites roll in before we actually got to the part of the Derby. So I have a feeling you might see a little bit more of chalky results in some of those stakes races. But with the Derby in a sequence, it pretty much makes the sequence valuable, right? Because it's a 20 horse field where I know Aaron and I are not going deep in those races. And if you're not going deep in a 20 horse race, even if it chalks out leading into that, you're able to be able to have it a couple times, or you'll be able to spread and get to horses in that other people can't because they're spreading in the Derby. So the fact that you have a 20 horse race in the sequence makes a big difference. From my perspective, the sequence I'm most excited about is the 2-day $2 pick 6 because you have a lot of very good horses in that 2-day $2 pick 6. I have opinions in the Derby. I'm excited to play those. I have opinions in the Oaks. I'm excited to play those. So I feel like 2 races where people are going to use more horses than me are included in that sequence, which also is a mandatory payout. So if it gets crazy, you're going to pay it out to 5 or 6. The $2 denomination means you can't really spread everywhere. And if I have big opinions in what I consider the toughest races, it gives me a big edge in that sequence.
Aaron, do you, if someone was willing to pay or wanted to play the Oaks Derby pick 6 with that $2 minimum, for most people that bankroll, it's going to add up real fast, and that's kind of a reason, right, why Mike likes it, because it's going to eliminate a lot of people or take a lot of public money out of that. So if someone wants to play that, what's a sensible bankroll that they should go into that pick 6 with that $2 minimum?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think specifically this sequence, I'm just trying to think how I would try to play it. And I would probably try to single the two biggest races.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably go with the idea I'm going to spend about $60 to $80 on this thing. I think you can go higher than that because of the $2 denomination. You're going to get a higher payout, obviously. But I think for my budget, what I want to do with so many other things going on, if I play it, I'm going to take a swing with my two strong opinions in the Oaks and the Derby, try to single where others are going real deep, and then I've got bullets in those other races.
Yeah, sounds like good ticket construction. Jacob asked, will that sequence be included on purchased products? Aaron, what's included in the wagering guide?
That one is not on there. No,
Okay.
That one is not on there. I would think, we may have that thrown somewhere on the regular price. Somich, are you going to do it?
I'm not going to do it because of the pool size. Unfortunately, with the denomination and the pool size, the number of winning tickets degrades the payout too much. However, I can tell you I'll be singling Kathleen O, and I'll be going too deep in the Derby with Messier and Taiba. So if you have my picks from Friday and Saturday, you'll be able to kind of put that together yourself. I will have the pick 5 for the 2 day or the all dirt pick 5 included. I'll have the Derby and Oaks double included in the Somobombs on Friday, and I'll have the super factors for both the Oaks and the Derby included as well. But with a $500,000 pool, which is about what it got last year, if there's too many tickets in there, it completely devalues it, and it makes it a negative EB bet for everyone who puts it in.
I just saw that the winner of Churchill was a Brian Lynch at 7-1. That was not who I was expecting to win that one. Yeah, it is kind of unique. So glad you asked about that one. Chris brings up it's going to eliminate a lot of the computers for some of these betting things too. Gentlemen, we got a little bit of a shorter show today. We've got the Kentucky Oaks is on Friday. We've got Thurby coming up tomorrow. When are you guys getting into town?
I will be there tonight. Well, tonight / early tomorrow morning. We'll see. Midnight, 1 o'clock tonight. I think we'll be there. We're on track. We, like I said, Jared and I just got to finish up the bankroll article, and then we'll head out. So, got an hour drive to Jared's and a couple hours to work on that. I think we'll be there about 11 or 12. By the way, Magic, speaking of products that Jacob brought up, and you just mentioned the result there at Churchill Downs, if you bought the premium product and you played the trifecta in the second race today at Churchill Downs, you hit it.
Wow.
Look at that. I had the 2 as a must use.
And Somich, so if you bought his, he has the 2 as a must use. And we hit the try here with a 7-1 over a 12-1 over a 6-5. So we'll report back with the try.
7-1 over 12-1. Oh, okay, so the 8 ran second. I'm not watching because I'm focused on this stream.
Well, there's a first for everything, folks.
When are you getting into Churchill then, Somich?
I am dropping the daughter off at school tomorrow morning and then leaving directly from there. So I will have a 9-hour drive. So the coffee and the beef jerky, and I pre-bought beef jerky this time. Look at that. Isn't that smart, huh? I pre-bought the beef jerky.
We've heard all about the jerky you're supposed to get. Pre-buying the jerky. Well, actually, you pre-bought it and then eat it all, so it's gone, and then get new ones for coming back.
Your assumption is that it's not going to be gone in the first hour of the drive is wildly incorrect. So I'll have my first cup of coffee from home and the first bag of jerky from home. But the first gas station I stop at will probably be a refueling for everybody, not just the car, but for me as well. So we'll get done. But yeah, I'm planning to be there hopefully late Thursday. It's about a 9-hour drive for me. Train wreck trying to get a flight into Louisville or to Lexington. For me, I have to get a stopover somewhere, and all of a sudden it takes like 6 hours. So I'd rather just drive it, listen to podcasts, and maybe watch a movie once I get into the open road where I'm just on cruise control.
Don't do that. Do not do that. And don't tell people to do that.
Yeah.
The trick is you pick something that you've seen 1,000 times, and so you can flip the screen over, and then you just listen to it. When I moved from Michigan to California, we had like 8 seasons of South Park playing. Never once had the screen on. Screen was always off, but we were listening to it because we've seen South Park so much.
Racing Dudes does not condone this type of...
No, listen to this. Listen, because people listen to YouTube. Don't do this. By the way, Trifecta paid $125.40. So you can go buy 3 or 4 guides with this winnings. So go do that.
Wow.
Go buy
3 or 4 guides.
You'll need multiple copies.
Hey, we got people coming over from the John White interview. Richard, give 2 thumbs up for that. Appreciate it, Richard. Yeah. Hey, by the way, thank you for watching that. It was a long one, but a good way to start your Wednesday.
Yeah.
It looks like the weather's starting to shape up too. The weather wasn't as bad when I looked at it this morning. So hopefully we get a little bit better weather on Friday and Saturday. All of us will be on the track Friday and Saturday. Jared and Aaron, I think you guys will be there on Thursday as well. So if anyone's there, you see us walking around, definitely come say hi. We'd love to meet everybody who's at the track.
We're very nice people.
I recognize Matthias's. He just started following us on Twitter as well. So great to see Matthias. By the way, Matthias, the Red Wings need a head coach. Do you have anybody in Sweden that we can call? We need. Matthias is like, why do you assume everybody in Sweden likes hockey? That's offensive.
So Davey's talking about John White. We took him off the air and we were going to close the show, and all of a sudden he just pops back on and starts talking again. So that's what Davey's talking about.
Like he thought the show was over.
Doing this, and we're like, what does he want? And we put him back on.
Did he forget his turbulator story?
No, he went on about more Taiba stuff, I think.
Oh, okay.
How much he liked him. Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, if you want a true expert, we are experts, but true expert, like legendary expert's opinion on Taiba and that complete enigma, there's a lot of great info in that. So yeah. This is a man who bet Justify to win, was it the Derby or the Triple Crown before he'd even had a start? Both. Okay, so that's how much John White is in the know.
Derby when he won the Triple Crown. No, it was both. It was both before. Yes, both before.
He was, I believe, he was the second person to call Johnny Avello and ask for a bet on Justify. Didn't get quite the odds as the first person did, but still got pretty good odds on him.
Yeah,
I've definitely got yelled at this by the wife. When I'm driving and I throw a race on, that's definitely happened before. I think we can all admit that we've driven and had a race on the phone before. Okay, so don't knock my movies, because you know what? If I've seen the movie before, I don't have to be staring at the screen. Whereas we all have a horse we're rooting for. We want to see how that trip's going.
I've been in trouble many times for that.
Okay.
Many times. Yeah.
Quit the slander. Not the Cougar? Was it the Cougar? No, it wasn't the Cougar 2. It was the Tokyo City Cup stakes that he won. We had just sold our Civic off to CarMax and had like the big nice whatever big fat check it was that they gave us for it, and I'm sitting there holding it, and Tiz is like 5 minutes to post, and I know he's gonna win, and I'm just like, don't do it. I'm sitting there like holding it, like don't do it. So we started driving so that I wouldn't end up just trying
does
to spend that money.
TVG have a deposit check feature? Right, we picture the
take
front,
a picture
the back.
I mean, they're very quick to take your money. They don't give it to you very fast, but they're very quick to take your money when you.
I think that's pretty much every online sports book.
See, I knew Matthias would know. Thank you. I didn't just assume all Swedes know hockey. Matthias looks like he knows hockey. Hang on, I got a cough.
So we should let's talk a little about. So we're going to not have too long of a show here. So I think we're going to be on for about another 5-6 minutes here. Let's talk a little about what we're doing for the rest of the week, where we're actually giving out the picks, so everyone can get the Derby picks, all the different sequences that are going on. Aaron, do you want to kind of kick it off with what the plan is here for the live shows and Blinkers Off and whatnot?
Yeah, so we're gonna do Blinkers Off tomorrow night, live from the hotel room is my guess. We'll see where you're at, and we might wait for you, or if you're gonna be real late, we may just do it. So Thursday will be Blinkers Off. Are you guys? When is Magic Mike? I don't know when that is. Is it?
We're today at 4:00.
Okay, so Magic Mike today, Blinkers Off tomorrow.
Who's 4?
My 4.
Okay. Your 4. Okay.
Yeah, I texted you about it yesterday. You ignored me, so I just assumed it's okay.
It's true.
Magic has 2 places you text him, and I never know how to get a hold of him, so I just text those places. But
someone got him an Apple computer, and it's really thrown a wrench in everything.
It's great when he's on the computer. It's fantastic. When he's not, it's really bad. But anyway, Magic Mike today.
Yes.
Blinkers Off tomorrow.
Yes.
We'll have a reaction show Friday night. We'll have a reaction show Saturday night, and we will have a live show, right, Magic, during Derby.
Yes.
Okay.
Saturday during the Derby.
Yeah.
And on the Magic Mike show, we're going to cover the all dirt pick 5 sequence, and then give out, and that includes the Kentucky Derby, so you can get the full Kentucky Derby analysis that's built in right there. And then on Friday's live show, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about the card on Saturday as well, if you want any opinions going into Saturday too.
Ed Burke says, crap, no Borat. Tune in Saturday. I don't know if he's going to be able to show up then, but we'll try. Alex's story made me laugh. The worst was when I walked into Target in between Breeders' Cup races and still had it playing on my phone. I spent 10 minutes in Target thinking they were airing it over the intercom. Thought I found the greatest Target ever.
I would be going back to that Target a lot if that was the case. It's
you
one of the
have
reasons
my money but I'd be there more than my wife, that's for sure.
It's great when you're in Kentucky in Lexington and they have TVG at the bar. It's like one of the TVs that's on. It's playoff basketball, and it's like TVG gets one of the main TVs. It's amazing. I love it.
You know what it's like, Mike. You go into Target with a kid, and your wife is, goes to the baby section, and 30 minutes later you're still there. You put the Breeders' Cup on, and then the intercom. Let's stay all day at Target. I don't care. They got the TV section. It's great.
Do you want to? We want to give this one a shot here. Oh, we both picked the same one. That's a good sign. You want to give this one a shot real quick? What's your strongest opinion for Friday and Saturday throughout the card? I think Aaron and I share the same Saturday opinion. So I'll let you go first there and see if it's the same as mine. Aaron, what's your biggest opinion on Saturday?
Are you Jackie's Warrior? Do we share that?
Oh, no. Okay, no. Interesting. All right, so your biggest is Jackie's Warrior?
Well, yeah, I think he gets out there and smokes them. I love him at 7 furlongs. I love that he got a race under his belt. And I think he's the lone speed in the race. So he is a strong opinion. And honestly, my second strongest opinion on Saturday kind of turning into no, I know who you're thinking of. Speak of the Devil, right? I have a very strong opinion on that one as well. I totally blanked on that horse. Speak of the Devil would be another one. I believe it's the 5th race. It's the first stakes race on the card Saturday. And if the turf is soft, that's even better. Makes that horse even stronger. My third strongest opinion is Taiba.
That's a good third strongest opinion. Yeah, mine would be Speak of the Devil. Look, this is a horse that's coming over from Europe, has won stakes races over there, faced Space Blues, faced Mother Earth, ran well against both of them. I mean, it's first race in the U.S. for Chad Brown. Brant brought her over. This looks like Chad Brown's next monster older filly. So, yeah, Speak of the Devil, the 8 horse in the 5th race on Saturday would be my biggest opinion. Magic, you got any big opinions for Saturday?
Aaron was waffling. He was about to say it and then not say it. And I was like, don't say it because that's mine. No, that was mine. Definitely on Saturday. That horse, for so many reasons, just looks like a potential freak. We were talking about it yesterday even, how much we love her. Friday is Jackie's Warrior's not on Friday. I'm looking back through. I had to remind myself what races were on Friday versus Saturday. Man, this is a tough one. You threw me off here. You know what? Is it strong opinion? I think Olympiad is going to keep things rolling in the LA Shiba. And there's some horses in there like Max Player, who I kept discounting last year when he kept winning a mile and a quarter. And we haven't seen him in a while, and he's back at mile and a 16th. Folsom looks super strong at Oaklawn, and I know some people like him, but you can guarantee Happy Saver's not going to win but hit the board. So I think Olympiad's got a great spot to keep it rolling there. That's a 7th race Friday.
Yeah, I've got a couple on Friday. I mean, I think Kathleen O is a horse I'm going to be using, an opinion that I have pretty big there. I really think Caravel is going to come back and run well in the turf sprint. It's the 10th race, 3 horse. You completely check out the 2 previous ones at Del Mar and at Parks when we were over the turf. Ran once here in the Brad Cox barn at Turfway Park. That was over synthetic, went wire to wire. This is one of the best turf sprinters in the world, and just had a rough end to last year. So I think second off the layoff, you can expect a pretty big effort from Caravel. And then the previous race, Matera looks pretty tough to me too.
I like Bleecker Street a lot. I think that's the first stakes. I am a little worried about what that rain is going to do to the turf on Friday, more so than Saturday. So that's my only kind of pause. But I think that horse is pretty good, and I think the rest of that field, I don't think they can beat Bleecker Street. So that would be for me.
How about the La Troyenne? I should have said that one. She Dares the Devil to me stands out in a major way. They avoided the apple blossom for this race. Like they went, well, grade 1 there against the best ones, or grade 1 here against Pauline's Pearl's here, but what are we gonna do here? Like this is a much easier spot, so I think this is an easy spot for She Dares the Devil.
I think it's definitely one of those 2. I think Pauline's Pearl could be pretty tough in there. There's a couple horses that might step up, but I think it's one of those 2 that's able to get it done. Funny Duck. I mean, the funny duck of this weekend is going to be the Pat Day Mile again, right? Like,
yes,
that to me is the one where like you could throw a dart, and I like 20-1 Captain, who's out all the way on the 12 post because I think you're going to get the pace set up with him. So there's some prices in that race, and the Pat Day Mile I think could really create some chaos.
You're not going to use. Well, I guess tune into the Magic Mike show later to find out if either of us uses our first round pick doppelganger.
Spoiler alert. No.
There's, that's one. That's one. When he came to Arkansas, I was like, "Oh, I'm happy to. He's here. I want to get a good look at him." And he walked by, I looked at Jared, like, he's not winning. That horse, it didn't look like much. But you wouldn't think a cutback's going to help him, but I guess it could melt down.
Here's a good question. We've talked on before, but Jacob, in case you missed it, we'll bring it up again on the show. The rail and Mo Donegal viewed as awful. Everybody knows that. Immediately out on the post-draw show, but any insights with the new gates, which were supposed to help that inside rail? Aaron, go ahead.
It'll help, but it's not going to solve the whole problem. He's not going to be running straight into the rail when he breaks, but he doesn't break very well. So that's strike number one. He reminds you a lot of Known Agenda from a running style standpoint. Doesn't break well. Every horse pushes over on him. There's no way he's going to get any kind of position. The good news is he's going to probably be in the back no matter where he breaks, but he's going to get shuffled. He's going to get a ton of dirt. It's not going to be a great trip. He's going to have to be much the best to win.
And it has been brought up, Mike, that Mo Donegal has broken from the rail and won before, but it's different when it's 5, 6, 7 horses in New York, Florida versus 19 other horses in Kentucky, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the major difference. If you just go back and you watch last year's race in Known Agenda, it was the first time we'd seen this gate. Man, did he get crushed? I mean, he broke well. The 2 didn't break well. The 3 didn't break well. He had the inside all to himself. And by the time he went under the wire the first time, he ended up in 17th place. Or no, sorry, 18th place. You go back and watch the replay. I didn't remember it being that drastic. We showed it, I think, on one of these live shows.
Yesterday.
It is
I'll pull it
brutal.
up again, yeah.
It is brutal what happened in Known Agenda. To me, the biggest benefactor in this new gate is actually the 14 post. I did a breakdown on the YouTube page of different post positions. 14 post only has a 2% win percentage. And that's because it was the last post in the main gate. And the auxiliary horses, the 15 through 20, would just crush down on the 14. And so I think the 14 is actually the biggest benefactor of this single gate.
And this is the look. This is from last year's Kentucky Derby. The start, we're going to watch the rail horse, but you can see how it is a straight line for all the horses here. And we're going to pay attention to the rail horse here. And he's going to break well, like Mike is saying. It's not that he breaks poorly. See, he's clean. Irag gets him into position. There's nobody around him. And then
it seems like he's trouble-free here.
And then horses with more early speed than him start to come over and see how everybody just comes down and boom and boom and boom and hit and suddenly slam on the brakes and slam on the brakes again. And now we are 17th.
If you've bet this horse and you're watching him, you're like, okay, this is all right. This is all right.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, shit.
Right.
It's not right.
Right
No,
there.
it's not.
Well, and Magic brought up the good point. It's not even like the horses in front of him cut him off or anything. It's that you have 7 horses to the outside that are all going in at the same time. And they don't realize that 6 horses inside of them, they're forcing a horse into the rail. They can't see that far inside of them because there's a bunch of 1,000-pound animals that are going to be pushing forward as well. And so when you've got all of these, this tight space, and you have all of these horses that naturally want to get to the rail and run toward open spaces, and they want to run inside, that's what happens is you just get one thing has to happen, and he's back. You just shuffled all the way back. And now, yes, Mo Donegal's a closer, and I get that. Well, now let's flip it around. Now you have to make a trip going through 15 horses from the back of the field in a pace that I don't project is that quick. That's a problem. It's tough to do. And you also have to figure out how to get off the rail. You're going to save ground in the first turn. You're probably either going to have to go 15 wide or weave through the field on the second turn. And if you're weaving through the field of 20, the likelihood of trouble is pretty significant.
It's almost sad watching. I didn't have $1 on him, but it's just sad watching Known Agenda in this race now in that stretch the first time. You're like, he just gone. No shot. It's just unfortunate.
There's as much trouble in the first time through the stretch, the Kentucky Derby, as any other time in the race. I mean, that's when a lot of these trips are made or broken, because having that many horses jostling for position makes it extremely difficult, because half of them aren't going to get to where they want to be. And this year we have a bunch of EPs. Like Classic Causeway is going to go, but no one really wants to pass him, and everyone wants to go as slow as possible behind him, but guarantee the position they're in. So you might see a 22 and change opening quarter and a 46 and change half, where they went 24 plus for that second quarter, because everyone just wants to save their spot once they're in it after they get to that first quarter.
Whew. All right. Final pick for the Kentucky Derby. You can find out on our shows. We're not going to give it out here. You can go to our shows. We're going to have the Magic Mike show later today. At what time, Mike?
4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific.
Perfect. Awesome. And then we got Blinkers Off. We'll be live later tomorrow night after Thurby. But if you want content for Thurby, go to racingnews.com. Free picks for Churchill Downs and every other track racing across America. We also have the premium products and the inside track to the Kentucky Derby wagering guide. Aaron is leaving right now. He's got to go work on it with Jared. They're going to finish the live bankroll article, and then that will be published and to your hands later this evening, so make sure you check that out. For Aaron Halterman, Mike Somich, I am Magic. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun. We'll see everybody later today on the Magic Mike Show, and then tomorrow for Blinkers Off. Take care, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. We'll see you later.